Sparkle Jets. This is a podcast. It's called Best of Friends. Here we go now, yeah!
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our little podcast, the Best of Friends podcast thingy. I'm Mike from Sparkle Jets. I'm joined today by my bandmates, Susan West.
Hello.
And Jamie Knight.
Hello. Hello.
And we're here to talk about this crazy record that we have coming out in 2023, June 30th. It's called Best of Friends. It looks like this. I know you can see this on the radio. There's probably a graphic that you can see right there on your screen, so you know what it looks like. Anyway, it's a project that we did, that we thought of 22 years ago and never actually did. And then the other day we just decided to do it and we did it. So here it is. And our special guest today, we're very excited to have talking with us. This is Stu, everybody.
Hi. Oh my God, Susan West is there.
Hello.
I just.
So good to see you.
Oh my God, your voice. What is up, Jimmy? What's up?
I'm doing well, Stu. Good to see you.
I just had to give Mike some shit, and then I had to give Susan some worship, and then now we can start. You must be exhausted. You guys must be so fucking exhausted, right? Don't front. Don't pretend. It's okay. You can be tired.
No, this is fun.
Honestly, this has been absolutely fucking delightful.
Good.
You're the 14th person or 14th hour of this, and it's.
Oh no, I can't believe
I can keep
this.
going. No, it's awesome.
I can't believe it. Well, I'm gonna suck, man, because like I said, without a prompt, without like somebody like probing or like one of those people, Heidi or something, I'm really bad with the years. I am very bad with them. It's such a different the way my life kind of went from one thing very quickly to another thing, with a whole bunch of stuff in it. And so, yeah, I'm packing because I'm moving in a week and a half. And, yeah. And I'm just looking at all this stuff like, oh yeah, this plane ticket is from what gig was that? It's like, so yeah, it's challenging, but I do have a little project that you guys can help me with. I actually do want to recreate those days because, I ran into some Japanese guy, of course, he was Japanese, and he was like, he knew everything about everybody, like everything about every band from that time. He knew more than I did.
Wow.
He had records of mine that I don't have.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was like, and I was like, you know what? And he was like, yeah, like, I was like, yeah, after talking to him, I was like, yeah, somebody's got to I guess like Tony or somebody has got to write the shit down. I mean, more people know it certainly better than I do. You know what I mean?
Well, that's kind of what we're thinking with this is one of the outcomes we hope might happen is that more people start thinking about what happened and what that means and what everybody's doing now. And
yeah,
I think we're all kind of in a mood right now where it's like, why don't we just do some more of this? So it's kind of what's the vibe we've been getting from everybody.
Interesting. Yeah. I'm trying. I was just talking to Heidi today about how it's so hard to remember now that like, oh yeah, we should make a Negro Problem record because we haven't made one in quite a long time. I'm making records with this other band I'm in, which she sings in, but yeah, we need to start doing that. We need to start doing that again.
You have the distinction, at least in the context of this record. We couldn't even decide on which one of your songs to do, so we did two. So
when the authorities show up, there's a particular space for me in pop jail for that offense, right?
No, not an offense. We just couldn't even decide which one because we had a couple on the list, and this list really we did have a list from 2000, year 2000, 2001 at the latest. It was probably older. And it's been sitting on my computer ever since. And then one day we just we were like, let's just do it. But we did.
Right.
And
did the list change?
Not much. We added a few bands that we felt we kind of needed to or we wanted to. We might have swapped one or two songs. But not really much. And cool. I think with the situation with you guys is I had the song "Come Down Now" on my list. I'm pretty sure. but then we all wanted to do Monsanto, so that happened anyway. So there you go.
Cool.
Yep. And we'll have to play those for the listening audience, at least. I don't know if you've heard them yet, Stu.
Yes, I have. I thought I told you I heard them.
Probably.
Yeah. No, I thought. I mean,
You did say that you heard them because I saw, and you said something very nice about Susan. So I saw that. It was very sweet.
Yeah. I thought because Mike, you said something funny. You said you're probably not going to like this because some of it is too close to the orig.
Yeah.
You actually said that, and the thing is, I mean, one thing definitely, like the voice, like Susan, like here, I've always been a fan of the voice, but I think your voice does something very particular that I actually can't describe, but there's a clarity to it that makes it sound like you're actually standing next to the person.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how you get that on records or whatever, CDs or vinyl or whatever, but I mean, it's like that in Sebastian Cabot. It's like that on your guys' material. It's like that on this song. And that made it very, very, very exciting to me. But you guys made me want to start thinking about covers and how a group covers a song and why they cover it a particular way. I was stunned by the fact that you guys got the groove on Monsanto, because I used to listen to that sometimes and go, what exactly? There's something about the bass and I guess it's a drum, or is it a drum machine? I can't remember, but
there's kind of I don't know if it was a synthesizer sequence.
There's definitely a synth, and it's not sequence. I'm actually manually playing that because we couldn't figure out how to sequence it. So I'm hitting
I kind of did that. And it was deceptively difficult to do. I was surprised.
Yeah. But the groove, like with the bass and the whole, you guys just like nailed the groove. And I was like, this is. So yeah, it made me think like about how that works, and like that approach, I think you nailed how I used to think about covers, but I think hearing this makes me rethink the idea of being faithful to certain areas, and I find it interesting now, and it's been a long time since I've even thought about covers in that way, but I thought they were brilliant. I mean, I thought, and that sounds weird to say that about a cover of your song, but I mean, I thought what you guys did was brilliant. Not I don't mean the song is brilliant, It
was the first song of yours, I think, maybe the first song of yours we heard. Okay. Or at least it could be. I'm a little blurry on actually how a lot of that stuff went back then. But I remember tuning in because it was the first time I think we were going to get played on Wayne Resnick's show on KFI.
Okay. Oh my God, I haven't thought about that.
And you guys were on there that day, I think, or something.
Oh wow.
Or I remember recording it because I remember hearing Monsanto come over my little radio, and it was so cool. Well, let's let the people hear a few seconds of this, and
let's
then
let them hear a few
talk
seconds
about it.
Monsanto, come back to me. I'll wait there. I'll wait there. Monsanto, come back to me. I'll wait there. I'll wait there. He's got a memory glitch. He's got a needle
I enjoyed that very much. It was harder than I thought it would be.
Yeah, no, the vocal is just like so spot on. And did you ever study acting, Susan?
I am a fan of musical theater.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
I
okay.
like acting and improv and all of that stuff.
Yeah, because you know how to say words clearly.
So
I mean-
sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah.
We call that
Yeah.
in the profession enunciation.
Yeah, we call it that in my profession also. But I think there's a difference because like saying words, when I say saying words clearly, I mean, I actually understand the lyrics better when they're sung like they're actual words as opposed to just lyrics to a song. Do you know what I mean? Like you actually like I hear it better. I hear it better than when I'm listening to myself actually. You know, I hear the song better. It's really interesting.
I tend to think of the whole thing as a story.
Right. That's clear. That's clear. That's clear. That's clear from listening to you. That's definitely clear. Yeah, for sure.
I was a little bummed because I didn't get to sing it. But then
Why was that?
well, I wanted Susan to sing it, and she definitely did. And then, but I think I'd done a pass at the vocals when I was still tracking, just so I could hear how it was coming out.
Right.
And then I realized later, I'm like, Susan, when it comes back at the end of the song, can I sing the verses?
Which
then?
is very cool.
Just
I
fade
love
out?
that switch. I love that switch.
Yeah.
I love that switch.
I like that too when bands have more than one singer and they divvy up parts of the tunes. That I've always thought that was pretty magical, and it actually works in this case too.
Yeah, I'm finally getting there. I mean, I think we were there a lot with.
Yeah,
TNT,
of course.
Yeah.
But
Yes,
I want to get there more now with stuff that we've been doing lately. I want to get there more.
Well, it's kind of like it's the singers are kind of important, even though I don't want to think of it that way. But yeah, when you definitely and the instrument that you carry in your body doesn't belong to anyone else but you. So when you get to if it's a band you like and you like their singers, that's usually why you like them anyway. Let's be honest. And when you get to hear the different personalities, on the record, it makes a big difference.
Right. I'd love to write a record with 3 or 4 other people who were very distinctive, to approach some kind of early 70s or even just like Temptations vibe where I don't even mean with the music necessarily. I mean just with the idea everybody who sings is totally distinctive. Everybody who sings has that fan base. You know what I mean? Everybody's waiting for that singer to start. I would love to make something like that happen someday. But yeah.
Awesome.
But yeah, when you come in, that's great. That was a real surprise and a really welcome surprise.
Oh, thank you, man.
What kind of synth did you, if we could just geek for a second, did you just use a setting on a keyboard? What synthesizer? What did you use?
Everything's just whatever Logic had in
Logic.
there. Yeah, I don't even remember, but the thing is, I can tell you because I can pull the sesh up and
I don't remember either though. That's cool. I was just asking. Thought you might remember.
Yeah, where'd you guys track that? By the way, at Lincoln Lounge.
Oh no, we tracked that in the deepest, darkest, unincorporated section of Orange County.
What?
At Jim. Oh God, I'm so terrible. You should have told me you were going to ask me these questions. It's on the record. Jim, who was he was way out in OC, in this it's unincorporated area. We were by a stream and stuff, and he had a big Labrador and one of those yellow tabbies that would do everything you did. If you opened the bread, the tabby would open the bread. If you went into the fridge, the tabby would open. And me, I was going to the fridge a lot, so the tabby would just follow me and go inside the fridge. Because I was going into the fridge, he would go into the fridge. Sometimes he would stay in the fridge, and we'd have to save him. But yeah.
As long as you didn't copy him and end up in the cat box.
No. I wasn't copying him, but we were, yeah. So, so everybody who was on that record, Marsland had to come down, whoever the hell was on that record had to come all the way down to Orange County. I don't know why we recorded there. I can't remember. Jim would tell us. And the thing is, his dad was a DJ in LA in the heyday. So his dad met George and was cool, and he said something to me that I'll never forget, which you can always edit out because I don't want to diss anybody. But he was like, yeah, so what's with the kids? I'm like, what's with the kids? They're not excited about rock and roll anymore. you were like, he went to Pooh Bah's in Pasadena and wanted to buy a Journey record. And the guys at Pooh Bah said, sorry, not only are we not going to sell you a Journey record, we're going to sell you 2 records, Talking Heads 77 and the first Ramones record. And of course, his life was changed, right? So I'm like, why aren't the kids like excited about music like you? Like, because he had a son. He has a son, right? His son was all into games and stuff. And he goes, and you can edit this if you have to. He goes, what? He goes, yeah, I had the Talking Heads and and the Ramones. He goes, you really think my kid's going to get excited about Matchbox 20? And that was sort of like this bracing moment where I was like, oh, maybe that's part of it. And the car just got very quiet. But I don't want to diss Matchbox 20. They have a right to exist. But he said it. I didn't, folks.
I don't think they're going to be listening, but
yeah,
you never know. I can do some for you if you want, just to even the score. I think you even might have told me that story. It sounds really familiar to me.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of how to. I think Susan and I went to go see Frank Black and the Catholics when we first knew each other, and you guys were opening for them at the Foothill Club in Long Beach.
Yes.
And then because I remember Carolyn, I remember her very specifically being the keyboard player. That was kind of cool. And then I think we might have said hi to you if we or tried to. And then that we might have done that actually, because I think not long after. And we had just started playing together. We were still booking shows at this little coffee house where we first used to hang out. It was one of the only places I'd ever gone at the time, I want to say. And you guys were gracious enough to come down and play that.
I totally remember that. Yes.
And then after that, I remember getting Heidi saying, "Yeah, you should come see us. We have a show at the Troubadour. It's going to be our record release party."
Right.
And we went down there and did that, and that was for Joys and Concerns, and then it was all crazy after that. And what a record that was! Holy crap!
Oh
and I have obviously went back and got all the other ones immediately, and I still play that stuff a lot. In fact, out of everybody from back then, I keep going back to those records over and over again.
Thank you, man. That's nice. Thank you.
They're so cool. Well, they're like, they're pretty high end. I mean, there's just a lot going on, and melodically they're really interesting. And then you guys came and played one of our residency dates out in Lake Forest, which was kind of nuts.
I don't remember Lake Forest.
I just found the tape of it this morning.
Oh my God.
Because I used to record everything.
I would love to hear that. I would love to hear that.
And
remember the bootleg you recorded?
Oh yeah. I did a lot, but I made a really nice, like 3-record set or something of the stuff for that one little tour where you guys took Susan and we went up to the Fillmore, and then we did the Wiltshire.
Right. That bootleg of yours was like so perfect sounding. It was like fantastic. It was so great. And I think you just held it to the dressing room speaker.
Yeah, and the Wiltshire. Yeah, I was thinking, how do I record this? And I actually was in the dressing room at one point, and the sound from the other band was coming over the speaker, and I go, shit. So I like stuck my microphone right there and just rolled it.
That thing sounded so cool.
Yeah, and it was so much fun, and thank you Susan, for letting me tag along, because I remember when she started going to your sessions for Welcome Black.
Yeah,
and gotta admit, I was jealous as fuck, but I was also super proud of her. What an amazing opportunity that was.
The opportunity was all ours to get Lisa, Heidi, and Susan on the same song. Are you kidding? I thought I was extremely cool that I could have managed to get that vocal situation on a song. That was super cool.
It's incredible. It was my birthday, Christmas, and
are you serious?
And Christmas. No, but that's what it was for me.
I'm Sebastian Cabot in your dreams. I'm Sebastian Cabot. What's that mean? See, I've been living in the park these days, holding court in pill-stained alleyways.
In a bowler hat, he's scary.
My life's a nasty habit, dig it. I'm Sebastian Cabot in your sleep. I'm Sebastian Cabot underneath. And now I'm burning up on every on holiday. Except on holiday. If you could only love me first, ignore my mind, then that would be fine. If you could only love me first, ignore my mind, then that would be fine. If you could only love me first, ignore my mind, then that would be fine. If you could only love me first, ignore my mind, then that would be special. My life's a nasty habit, except on holiday. I'm Sebastian Cabot in your dreams. I'm Sebastian Cabot, what's that mean? See, I've been living in the park these days. Home corn stained alleyways. Yeah, I've been living in the park these days. Home corn stained alleyways.
Oh man, that was Stu actually requested that one.
I haven't heard that in so long. I
Me
haven't heard
either.
that in so long. No,
That's-
I mean that
So awesome.
that's sort of like the song that like, you know, only the really weirdos like.
Well, I guess I'm a weirdo. And there's Susan right there. I don't
Yeah,
think that
so
was her
good.
earlier, right? Those are the other two girls at the verses.
I don't know about the unison stuff. I'm not clear on that. I don't know.
Yeah, it sounded kind of like her, but it wasn't quite right. But that thing towards the end was
Oh,
definitely.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And that was, I liked how it was mixed. It's been fun listening on headphones every time I play something.
I know, right?
And then,
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool.
wow. So there you go. That was from Welcome Black. I was so shocked when that came out and all the cool stuff that was on it.
Am I right that it seems like I only know from my band, but it seems like almost to a person, everybody's favorite record is whatever record they came in on, whatever the first record they got.
Yeah, that's
like,
kind of true.
But it took a long time because people used to just like, it was like post-menstrual syndrome when it came out. It was like this, blah, there was all this big O, and almost to the point where we were like, okay, like we do have to make like another record, And I remember when the second record came out and like Carolyn said like, this is better than post-menstrual syndrome. And I remember like, okay, if Carolyn said that, then, I'm good with it. Cause that's how I felt, but that's just me being the songwriter. But now Joys and Concern gets its props. But I feel like everybody who basically came in on that record, if they came in on PMS, they like PMS. And I feel, and then I think this is also the same with other bands. I talk to people, and that seems to be the case. Is that the case with you guys? Like first record, favorite?
Oh yeah,
record?
totally. I mean, you just have to look at the set list on this album we made, and almost everything that's on here was on a comp that David Bash put out
right
that year, and those were all like a lot of the first songs from these bands that we heard. It's definitely been true for me. I always, in all the songs the bands I'm a fan of, usually it's like that first record that, or not only that, if you're discovering the back catalog, the first record that's contemporaneous to your fandom is usually a really big deal.
Okay, yeah, I see that.
Like when I was a kind of a Beatles fan, but the first Beatles thing to come out after I knew about them and thought about them was Flowers in the Dirt. So that was a big deal.
Interesting.
Actually, no, it was, might have been, I always think it was that George Harrison record, the Cloud Nine, which was even bigger deal.
Yeah.
But
For
that's
me,
just my personal thing.
Yeah. No, that was, for me, that was Walls and Bridges.
See?
That was Walls and Bridges. I mean, in terms of coming out when I, contemporaneously, as you said, but that's not my favorite, but that's my sort of like sentimental favorite.
Well, that's when you fall in love. with
Well,
the,
well, I think with me, I mean, I already loved like John Lennon, but I just felt cool being able to go to a record store and buy it. You know what I mean? Whereas like all that other stuff, I was just, I was picking up used or wherever, or, you know what I mean? So like it wasn't, and unfortunately, oh my God, not the same with Sir Paul.
Right.
I always wanted to be excited about his solo records, but that's another podcast.
There's lots of podcasts like that.
Yes, there are. And so subsequently, like there are people that know us from theater that say, "Oh, the Passing Strange stuff," and they know either nothing about our previous life or they get to know it, but they still, for them, Passing Strange is what it's all about, which is fine. It's all fine. I'm fine that people like stuff. I don't care which one.
I can safely say that Passing Strange is my favorite musical. So
you fit the demographic.
I do, but goddamn, if that's not amazing! I listen to that thing a lot. I even ripped the DVD and put that in my iTunes so I could get all the songs.
Oh, right.
And all the stuff.
Cool.
I was completely blown away by that thing, and I tell people about it all the time.
Oh, thank you, man.
And I know it's kind of on YouTube, so you can kind of go watch it anytime you want.
Right. Yeah, it streams places too. I say you fit the demographic because they did a little marketing research when the play was on Broadway, and they have this one category which is like for basically the husband that gets dragged to the musical theater.
Yeah.
Play. And they ask him, so how did this play fulfill your expectations on a scale of 1 to 10? And we broke the record by far. Like the marketing guys were like, we've never seen these kind of numbers. The person who basically hates musical theater loves, like hands down, like loves your show. And the producers are like, yeah, like what are we gonna do with that? It's like, basically our biggest fans are like at home in the hotel, or they're going to the M&M store while the rest of the family is watching, us. You know what I mean? Like that guy who's just not having it, he's our guy.
And I think they should learn from that.
Totally.
I mean, we went and saw the Queen play in London, and a few other similar kind of things where they tried to do jukebox musicals.
Right.
And everybody gets it wrong.
Totally.
And you guys got it right.
I mean, believe me, this is our whole life. This is what I teach now. I mean, I teach this in school, thankfully, which is just like, what is the difference between rock and roll? And when I say rock and roll, I mean music that anybody can play. I fit folk, rap, noise, industrial, power pop, everything under the category of, it's rock. It's stuff that I can show you 4 chords and you can do this tomorrow. You know what I mean? But there is something fundamental about the approach to playing rock and roll and playing musical theater that we all know is very, very different. And that's what I teach now, is to try to pull them towards us, basically. Like my students come in as musical theater kids, and I try to pull them towards the things that we think are cool, to try to incorporate that into their musicals, because other music exists. And you'd be surprised how little they know about other stuff, And
it's not just the music, because we do a similar thing with our pop program and bringing, like you said, new kids to know the things that really matter to us. But it's not just a stylistic issue. It's the fact that, you had the actors. You didn't have a lot of sets in that thing, but you had the actors and they were doing the acting things, and there was some of that. But the band not only didn't leave, now I guess you could have, but the fact that I got to see the band play is the real thing. Like if they would have just had a pit for the Queen show, right?
Right.
But we couldn't even see them ever.
Right. No,
that was a big mistake.
No, that is a different thing, because music is theater, as far as I'm concerned. Music actually is theater. There's nothing more dramatic than, if you're into jazz, there's nothing more dramatic than like the classic John Coltrane quintet, where you don't know what's going to happen. It could be explosive. It could be anything from night to night. I feel like there's nothing more dramatic than like those early Beatle concerts are kind of, are I think, highly dramatic, especially the small ones where they're in the circle. And it's just like, you don't know if they're going to be eaten alive or if everything's going to be all right. You know what I mean? There's such intensity. That's dramatic intensity to me. So I feel like all bands are kind of like a play. Like the Beatles are like a play. Rolling Stones are like a play, you know? They're this play that keeps going on and keeps adding more songs. Yeah. But they are characters. If Bill Wyman's not a character, I don't know what the hell he is.
I try to explain that to not in those terms, but that's a really good way to put it, because when I try to explain to a 15 or 14-year-old that not only they don't know who the Beatles are, really, they might have heard the name, but they don't. You'd be shocked at what they don't know now. What they knew 10 years ago.
I wouldn't be shocked because I teach them all the time.
It's gotten worse in the last few years. But the thing I try to explain to all of them is like, the Beatles are not a band. It's not even about the music. It's about who they are as personalities and how they informed their culture and the things they did to the world in that tiny little, basically 5-year span.
Right.
And it's kind of incredible what they did. And I go, there's so much out there that people have written, 10,000 books, and there's the amount of detail of geekery that goes on would boggle your mind. And I've been a fan for 50 years or something, or not that long, a long time. And it still keeps giving. Mm-hmm. And that's, you can't ignore it. I mean, and I like that.
No, I think there's a lot. Yeah, I think there's a lot that they shouldn't ignore. But I feel for me, it's my classes are very much based in trying to create musical theater that doesn't suck, basically.
Well, I'm happy because it drives me crazy.
Yeah. So what I ask them to do is just look at how these songs are being written. They're not looking for like a great story in which to attach songs to like ornaments on a Christmas tree. The theater is actually in the song already. The drama is already in the song. The song starts off with somebody saying, "I'm a loser." That's drama. That's theater, that's how the song starts. You know what I mean? Like that's a story is about to unfold. You know what I mean? That's a really dramatic confession, right? That's a really powerful thing. I was trying to tell them that people didn't really say things like that. I think blues came closest, like the opening line, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to tell them that there's actually drama inside your song already. You have to milk that and find that rather than, hey, I'm going to invent this wonderful story and tack these songs on. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's interesting because I think about this sometimes. Just the idea of when you're making an album thinking, how can I repeat some themes or introduce some kind of sequence or anything like that that's beyond just a collection of random songs that were written separately. Yeah. And I just don't have the throughput, the patience to go there. And the fact that you've done it multiple times.
But it's already there. We don't, it's already there. I don't really, enjoy sequencing records, for instance. I'm just saying that if there are a couple of writers or if there's one writer and that those people write and play 12 songs, those songs have a theme already because it's all coming from these particular heads, it's coming from these particular brains. The story is already there. It might not be as easily perceptible, as obvious as a musical theater story, but there is a story. And then if you're conscious of it, what I try to teach my students is if you're conscious of it, then you can start pulling drama out of the song. But the condensed aspect of the pop song is actually where the drama is. It's the seed, it's like, it's a seed for me at least.
And when I was watching Passing Strange and listening to that and knowing your catalog from everything before that, it was interesting to see how you pulled little bits and pieces from songs, or just like there was obviously new ideas, but there was also some ideas I'd heard before,
sure,
and a few songs that I knew already, or that had suddenly had new lyric.
Yeah,
that was really fun because it was like a little secret Easter egg for me.
Right. Well, we originally were being very lazy. Heidi and I were like, oh, okay, they want us to make this show, so let's just put a whole bunch of our songs that we've already written together, and let's just make it all these songs, and we'll just change the lyrics because we were being lazy and like, hey, this theater thing, whatever. It's not going to last very long. And we were compelled to write songs, actually. It turned out that there were only a few songs that ended up really working, and those were the two that we left in. But we had to write songs anew, which I'm glad we did, We had
And
the
then
right songs to fit the situation.
We recorded one of those actually.
Yes, you did.
And the funny thing is, it appears. Is it the one? What's the song on Joys and Concern that happened twice? That's the other one.
Yeah,
Comic Book Land. Yeah. So I was tempted to do that too because I like both versions of that. And I thought that was cool when you did that. It's like, let's put on two versions because that's a ballsy maneuver.
We just couldn't decide which. That was.
But see,
that was.
I know that makes sense. But as a listener, I'm thinking, wow, that's deep.
Exactly.
Like they brought it back. I mean, it's a recurring theme, and even though the lyrics are the same exact thing, that's okay. Let's see. Let's play a second of the church song for the people.
The church song. The church song. Now when you are knee deep in Eliot's footnotes and your eyes are closing,
I will take your hex out of context and we will stop this posing.
I am looking at the ceiling, thinking about nothing really. The church song. So calm down now, remove your bandage so I can see your damage more than the law allows. So calm down
That was Come Down Now from Best of Friends.
Lovely vocal as usual.
I mean, that whole record, I loved all the stuff, around that. Of course, I already said that, but that one was a particular, I can't listen to it and not choke up a little bit. There's just so much going on with it.
Right. Yeah. Those sort of, what do you call it? Those songs that happen in difficult times. That's why it was called Heidi's Church. When the church her mom went to, and the church, they used to have a time during the service called Joys and Concerns, where people would get up and stand up in church and say. So she was just talking about this in like the van one day, like, oh yeah, we would get up and people would say, oh yeah, I'm feeling bad today, or my cousin had a problem, and that was called Joys and Concerns. And I was like, fuck, that's the record title. It has to be, because there's so much on it that's, I was weird. God, I can't even remember all the weird stuff that was going on, but there was weird stuff going on at that time, and personal stuff. And yeah, so that kind of seeped in, but we would never say, oh, breakup record, because it actually wasn't that completely. There was just some of that stuff. Come Down Now has that in it, but, yeah, I think we kind of tried to make it more varied. I think there's happy stuff, on it as well as maybe not so happy, but yeah. And Come Down Now, I feel so. I've seen that. I just saw that song performed like 2 weeks ago by this amazing cast that did a version of Passing Strange. I feel so removed, and then hearing your guys' version now, I feel removed in a wonderful, nice, pleasant way. Like yeah, it's very nice to like be like just detached from it in a nice way. You know what I mean? To actually hear it,
It's a fun place to live. I want to record it again, so maybe we'll have more.
Okay.
There's not singing that was I don't know. I can't speak for Susan, but it was pretty great, and we were arguing again over who's going to sing this, and we just ended up trading lines because
which is great. I have to say, conceptually, you guys, like you jumping in Monsanto, the first thing I heard that I thought, fuck, we should have done that. We should have done it where I was singing and then Heidi jumped in, and then Come Down Now, the exact same thing. I thought, I go, fuck, we should have done it that way.
Well, there you go.
Conceptually, you guys really the approach. I thought the approach was very, very inventive and enlightening for me.
All right.
Yeah.
And definitely. Another play that you did, Notes of a Native Son, right?
Notes of a Native Song, actually.
Songs.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to get it wrong.
Pun on Native Son, yeah.
And I think we actually got to see that when the time you did it in LA. Where was that place that
somebody's black box? Yeah, it was a college black box.
It was downtown.
Yeah,
by the Disney Center.
But she's right. It is connected to CalArts, but it's it's Red Cat. Red Cat. It's
Red
called.
Cat.
Right.
But yeah, it's connected to CalArts.
That was pretty great.
We had a good time.
God, I loved that.
I remember having some boss Korean food right before that show. All my LA visits now are just all about food.
Well, as
big surprise. Big surprise.
Let's listen to a little bit of Baldwin Country.
Say, Harlem girl, with your stress and your curl, would you like to change worlds and accompany me, Lord Lown? I'm about to leave town. Won't you follow me down to Baldwin Country? To Baldwin Country. You think we're there, but this ain't the place. It's not a zip code, it's a look on your face. It ain't Harlem G, it ain't Compton Cool, it ain't Gay Paris, it's not Istanbul. Step into my pool, I'm gonna play the fool and stretch your definition of funky. This ain't your mama's Baldwin Country. Yeah, you first learn the myth of Bessie Smith on a sad turntable as soon as you're able. Yeah, you first learn the myth of Bessie Smith on a sad turntable as soon as you're able. And then you remember, and then you remember, you try to remember, you hope you remember, did you forget to remember? Do you know how to remember? My black lady teachers didn't play no games. They were wig-wearing preachers who taught us the names. Ellison and Himes, the Hughes and Dunbar rhymes, Dexter and Josephine. We didn't know what the names meant, oh, but we clocked the pigment. My teachers were tourist bureaus, sent me on vacations with heroes that look just like me. Hey, Mrs. Markham and Mrs. Medeiros, I wish that you were here to hear this. Your sisters did me right, gave me a candle for this long American night, said more than son, good luck. You taught me like you gave a fuck. What? Said there's beauty in this ugly world, go out and find it, and I was hurled. Told me love could not fail, and so I raised my sail. The Negro problem is solved by education, baby. She said it's ignorance that keeps y'all down. But once you start thinking like an educated Negro, they don't want that Negro around. When love meets truth, there's a lot to forgive. It's not a safe space, but it's where we live. So if you got mad pains, listen to the bad brains. Get a pen, go insane, and come sit in the plane with me. And if I don't see things the same as you, blame Harlem's Bard, that's what he made me do. This ain't your mama's Baldwin country.
Tell us about that song.
So I walked into this performing arts center to see the great Cecil Taylor play at a place called Harlem Stage, and I walked in and I was like, oh my God, this place is beautiful. You know, I want to play here. So I just asked them if I could play there. They said, yeah, sure, let's come by and talk about it. So I'm like, so me and Heidi come back and we're like in the office and we're like, yeah, you know, we want to make this whole big crazy thing about Harlem, you know, we want to make a song cycle about Harlem because we'd already done this about Brooklyn, you know, Brooklyn Omnibus, we did this thing. And so I had this big idea, this big epic idea to do this thing about Harlem. And Pat Cruz, the person who runs Harlem Stage, said, well, you know, it is James Baldwin's, the centennial of his, not the centennial, but like 50 years or something for marking his, I don't remember if it was death or birth, but she was like, you know, that's happening soon. You might want to write about, you know, would you ever think about writing about James Baldwin? And I'm like, are you kidding? James Baldwin's work changed my life. I ran into it when I was in fifth grade, fourth grade, third grade. I wasn't able to read it, but our teachers told us about it when I was in elementary school. So I'm like, are you kidding? This would be a dream. So basically, yeah, that's just the first song, about James Baldwin in the show. It's just the introductory tune to the whole show, which is telling people that this show isn't about the James Baldwin you might think you know. It's about the James Baldwin that influenced me. So that's why we say this ain't your mama's Baldwin country. And it just went from there.
Wow.
Yeah, and opening night, Toni Morrison was there, and I was, both happy and utterly terrified. And she sat right in front of my Princeton. Like her seat was like directly in front, like first row. And I'm like, Ms. Morrison, like my amp is right there. And that's like, you don't want to be there. And she was like, oh no, it's cool, baby. I want to be right up in it. And I was like, okay.
Yep, you're going to be right up in it.
And she dug the whole fucking thing. It was like it's like sometimes we deal with people who are old now that I'm old. And it's like, it reminds me of the story of the people who went to do they wanted to rent this club out in London. And they were like, yeah, so we want to rent this club out for this senior citizens dance. And the guy goes, okay, so yeah, we'll be cool. We got a DJ. We're going to play some Sinatra and we're going to play some Perry Como. We're going to make all that happen. And this like 65-year-old lady looks at him and goes, I saw Pink Floyd like 5 times before they had a name. Like before they had a name. You know what I mean? Like, and the guy was just, like, she was like, do the math, And dude was like, oh, right, got it.
Well, when I saw the title Baldwin Country, I knew about obviously the James Baldwin reference, but I also suddenly flashed in my mind Baldwin Hills.
That's so interesting. That's so interesting. Wow.
Yeah, I never drew that connection.
That's a great, I wish I had drawn that connection. I could have done something with it. That's a great connection. Wow. Yeah. Maybe next live incarnation. That's really fucking interesting. That's a great reference.
When you guys had a song called Fox Hills, right?
We did have
damn near Baldwin Hills.
We did have a Fox Hills Mall song, Bermuda Love Triangle, I think.
Yeah. Wow. Cool, man. Well, see, I had a thing in my head.
I still can't believe you guys have done this for like 14 hours. I cannot believe that. I hope there were like dinner break.
But you know what? We didn't have to move any equipment. Okay.
I haven't got my steps in.
Mike, you wanted someone to remind you about one of your songs that the Fuzzy.
Oh, Fuzzy Green Hat. Oh yeah. Oh gosh. I'm wondering if I must have given you. Okay, I'll just remind you of the story, Stu, because I'd been listening to a lot of your music and Passing Strange. I remember for one point I had a little thing that was my alarm clock at home, and it just had a repeating thing that was pretty much all your music all the time for probably a couple of months.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I had one of those crazy dreams, probably because of that, where you were in the dream and I was talking to you about like, hey, man, let's write a song together. And you were like, cool. And we got on an elevator and you were wearing this fuzzy green hat, like, like a faux fur, but it was green.
Right.
And because I can totally imagine you doing that, actually.
So could I.
At least back in the day.
So could I.
When you were less sophisticated. When you were still wearing T-shirts as skirts.
Right. I can still do that. I think I might have the legs. Anyway, go on.
I've thought about doing it. Believe me. So yeah, in the dream you had the fuzzy green hat, and you said, "Yeah, let's work on that. That'll be cool." And then like you got in an elevator, and like you were gone, and then I woke up and I rolled out of bed, and this chord progression was in my head, and I literally rolled out of my bed. I'm all naked. I turn on my Wurlitzer piano, and I put this little part down, and then I realized I better put this in the computer or I'll forget it. So I ran into the computer, I opened up a session, I went blah 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 blah. Then I went to the bathroom and had coffee and got dressed, came back, did it some more, and then made a little thing and I sent it to you. And I go, dude, I just woke up, had this dream, I made this little piece of a song, and I go, this is crazy, but would you be interested at all in helping me make this into a real song? Because I think that would be cool. I think the universe wants this. And you were like, dude, that sounds amazing. I love it. I can't wait. That's a great idea. And she'd go, I'm a little busy right now. My computer's being shitty. As soon as I get my computer fixed, I'll get back to you and we'll knock this thing out.
That was when the computer disaster happened.
Yeah. And I think I sat on that thing for oh God, probably a year and a half, and I never touched it again. And then I was working on this project, and I realized I was this close to having a whole album worth of songs for the first time in a long time. And I go, well, and I might have even asked you again, I don't know, but I think I just finished it one day. But what I did was I made the rest of the lyrics about the dream and about talking to you and about you saying, yeah, man, I can't wait. That's going to be great. I'll see you when I get off the road or whatever.
What's horrible about hearing the story is that I am so bad at the cross country collaboration. I love the idea of it. There are so many people in LA that I would love to be working with, but I'm just terrible at it. I really, really suck at it. I mean, I don't.
It's not in your face. We can't have lunch and talk about it and then just go do it.
Also, I've always been terrified of like the whole Tin Pan Alley thing of like people sitting down and then write a song in a room.
Same.
Yeah. So there's that, so it's something I need to get over,
I can't really do it. Even if I write a song with these guys, it's usually they've got a thing and then I filter it. I clean it. I mold it a little bit.
Right.
Or it's just me and I just go.
Right.
So everyone probably works a little. I can't imagine sitting down with you, even if you wanted to, even if you showed up at my door. Let's write a song, Mike. We would not be able to do that probably. But the idea is
because
nice.
if I walked in where you live, I'd be like, yeah, let's write a song. But first, hit me to like the 3 cool places to eat around here.
Yeah, we'd have to go to the Spicy
and then
Sugar.
by the time we finish that, who knows if the song would ever happen. But we definitely have a good chat. I want to do that. I would love to. I want to branch out this summer. I'm here,
baby. I know we've talked about it.
We've talked about it. I want to branch out.
I would definitely postpone everything else and make that happen. So I'm here for you, buddy.
Cool, man. We will talk about it.
And the song turned out great, by the way.
Awesome.
And I put a lot of little references to you and or your songs. There's like a choral sitar solo in it.
Oh yeah, okay.
A couple weird things and some weird key change, and of course I had to have Susan sing on it.
Yes.
Maybe we'll take out the show without people can hear what we're talking about.
Cool. Yeah.
But awesome. And that's one of my most requested things. Of course, I don't play it. Maybe someday. I did it one time. One time I played it. So there you go. All right. Holy crap, that was amazing. I'm glad you still have a Christmas tree up. Where are you moving to?
I'm moving 1.5 miles south of here. I was really looking forward to moving to this neighborhood. It was during the pandemic. I was a little bit disappointed by the neighborhood. Now I'm moving to a sleepy little area of Brooklyn with houses. I will have a backyard, which for Angelenos doesn't mean anything, but for New Yorkers, it's basically like winning the lottery.
Mm-hmm.
I will have a backyard again. And, but what's more, I will have a basement rehearsal / recording studio.
Right on.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, I am like incredibly excited. It's already, it's down there. They got stuff down there, but like, I'm going to make it nice. And, I've got this nice new job now. So I have the money to put into it.
Are you not at Sarah Lawrence or you're just official now?
No, I'm official at Harvard, actually.
Geez. Yeah, wow. Yeah. Okay. No big deal. Just drop that in at the last minute.
What Jamie just did with his head, that is like the universal physical symbol. The choreograph, that says it all. Just that is the universal everywhere in the world.
They just shake their head like, oh, aren't we special? Yeah.
Southern China, Northern Africa, Japan, the Philippines, it doesn't matter. Every time you say that, somebody go.
I was going to ask you where you're teaching. I'm thinking, okay, maybe he's got a community college gig or something like that. I'm at Harvard.
Well, before he was at Sarah Lawrence.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Damn.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
And you still get to live in Brooklyn.
I still get to live in Brooklyn, but I'm going to be up there. I see my kid on weekends and I see my kid once a weekday. So I'm going to be like, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night, probably up there. and then I'll come down and see him on Thursday in New Jersey where he's with his mom, and then we'll go back to Brooklyn on the weekend. And sometimes I will, steal him away up there to hang out up there because I know he'll dig it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be, it's a commute, but it's not going to be as hard as it, because I've been at Harvard as a guest lecturer, sort of adjunct guy for 3 years. And that sucked, just going up and then having to come back really, you know what I mean? The train, it's horrible. So I'll have a place up there that I can be, and I've got a budget. So that's nice.
So now we can brag about knowing a Harvard professor, not just an award-winning Broadway writer.
Well, it all sort of these New York worlds, they all sort of blend into each other. You know what I mean? Like nobody wants to. I have to give it. No, I was about to say nobody cares about some guy in a rock band, but in New York they actually did. That was a nice thing. Like a lot of people don't know that we were approached by theater people in L.A. before New York.
Oh.
Yeah,
that
we
doesn't
were.
surprise me though.
But the producers were like, "Huh? The Negro problem? Like, what's that?" You know what I mean? Like we were actually approached before we got to New York, and we were so excited about it. But the LA producers weren't really getting it, and then the New York producers did. So it just kind of flows from, you do this, and then you get to Broadway, and if you get a Tony Award, those things it's like this conveyor belt, sort of. You know what I mean? I'm still, when I made my application for Harvard, I made it very clear I'm a guy who plays in clubs. And I think that the theater, I just said straight up, I think every band, my 5 favorite bands, are more dramatically interesting than the 5 top musicals of all times. And I can prove it. I can prove it on paper.
Maybe that's what they wanted to hear.
They wanted to hear. No, they wanted to, because they want to shake things up too.
Yeah.
Because they're tired of the old way, So, it's interesting, because sometimes the people, the faculty, sometimes your colleagues that are your age, again, like the lady who saw Pink Floyd, you know what I mean? Sometimes we are like the crazy hippie punks, and the kids are more conservative than us. We're sort of pulling them. It used to be the other way around. They used to be pulling us, but now we're sort of pulling them like, no, here's punk rock. No, here's rock and roll. Here's all this cool stuff that you need to hear, So yeah, it's fun though. It's fun. Teaching, it's fun.
Yeah.
Stu, with what you're doing, you might be interested in this organization. I used to sit on the board of directors for APME, which is Association for Popular Music. And Berkeley's on it, USC, University of Miami, some of the top schools, and they have their conferences. But Harvard, that you might want to take your program further, as you grow with that and actually teach pop music.
I would love to hear more about this. But because I mean, what I'm doing, I have one class where I teach people how to make theater the way we were making it, or the way they could be making it on their own. And then I'm in the spring, I teach a class that that puts popular music of the 20th century in dialogue with the musical theater of the day. So we get to go through the whole 20th century, listening to what people were listening to on the radio versus what people are listening to on stages. And I don't go into this class with any judgment, like this was better than this. We're just listening to both. Like I want them to hear Rent, but then I want them to hear the bands that were right around the corner from where Rent was playing on the Lower East Side. You know what I mean? Like you hear those bands and then hear Rent, and then you tell me. I'm not telling you anything. I really want the music to do the talking, as I believe Joe Walsh's solo record once said. Let the music do the talking. But did you ever think we would have a Joe Walsh reference in this hour? I know.
Dude, it's not even the first one today. And I'm not kidding.
On a dark desert highway.
One thing you can tell all these musical theater kids is just do me a favor and knock it off with the fucking vibrato on occasion. Stop that already.
Oh, dude, you don't even get me started, bro.
If that could just stop, it would be great. And that's a huge thing. If they could get past that, I can put up with all kinds of crazy shit. But the vibrato just is what eventually makes me walk out.
Well, you know why you can't? Because you know why that vibrato existed. The strident thing existed because we didn't used to have microphones.
Yeah.
So we had to project till the last row. But now we don't have to do that,
Yeah, and that's a problem too.
But nobody told them. So they're still singing like they have to blast the person's, eardrums in the last row, and they don't. I do an exercise in my class where I take the hardcore musical theater, actors, and I just say, sing this show tune like you're trying to put this 3-year-old to sleep. And I'm like, you're trying to put the kid to sleep, not wake the kid up. You're trying to put the kid to sleep. And they literally sometimes, like halfway through a verse, they start getting like that. Yeah. And it's like, and I'm like, no, this kid is going to be up all night now.
You just murmured all over this kid.
You just murmured this child. Well, thank you for the term. you just Jolsoned this kid, but murmuring sounds better. Don't murmur me, dude.
Have you heard the new box set of the Elvis Costello Burt Bacharach thing?
I have not.
I mean, this is obviously right up in your wheelhouse in 100 directions. But the thing why you need to check this out is if you know that album they did back in probably 1998 or something, 99. Mm-hmm. They did that Painted from Memory album. So I guess like 12 years later they were working on. They got together and were trying to craft that album into a musical, and they added more songs, and they started recording some other some different people in different roles, and I think they got pretty far, but they couldn't quite make it work. And that just they just finally released a lot of that material last week.
Okay,
and it's pretty great, and it'll make your eyes water a little bit.
Cool.
And I sat there thinking, I mean, I know they gave up or whatever, but it's like, God, please, can somebody step in and help convince him to take another swing at it, before it's too late.
It's amazing the things that don't come out even to this day, the things that are unreleased. It's shocking. I would think everything, especially when you have like people who are like 12 years old, like releasing, like they're on their 4th album, they're from their 4th YouTube record. It's like, but the Bacharach Costello thing takes forever. It's like, it's so weird, but yeah, no, I'm sure that's wonderful. I don't listen to enough contemporary music. I need to get my act together. I'm so obsessed with old music. I just am. It's embarrassing.
Well, yeah, we all are.
And I don't mean old, like the same music. Like I honestly don't listen to the Beatles anymore.
Don't need to. It's all there.
I don't need to. I do have this really evil exercise that I do in my class where I ask people we're going to write a lyric in class. And the first verse is going to be about you and dealing with the news, and then the next verse is going to be about you, a movie you saw, and then you're going to write a break, and the break is going to be about you getting to work or to school, and then we do this exercise, and it takes 90 minutes, an hour. And then at the end of the class, I just play a day in the life, and it's evil. Like it's the most evil teacher thing. It's like me, like evil teacher, it's like the most evil teacher thing to do, but it's like, this is what you can do with it. And they're always like, this doesn't fit. This is so random. You know what I mean? They're really into like criticizing things that are random. And I'm like, this is the most random song ever. Like it defines random. You know what I mean? What the fuck is it about? It's about nothing. It's completely random. It's fragments, and it's the best thing ever. So I do it only to get them to believe in their randomness. I don't know why I'm talking about this now. I don't know how this came up.
That's awesome. I love it.
But it's such a good. Also, sometimes it's the first time people have heard a day in their life. So that's important too.
I want to steal that idea.
Please do. I'd
like to think that my kids would somebody in the class would go, this is a day in the life.
Your kids would. No, your kids would.
I would hope so, but you never know.
Yours would. That's the difference though, because yours aren't hardcore musical theater.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's what I'm saying. So your kids would know. I can always tell the best songwriters in my class. When I have a really good songwriter, I'm like, what the fuck did your parents listen to? Oh, Randy Newman, Beatles, Hendrix, Funkadelic. I'm like Motown. You know what I mean? You can hear it.
Yeah,
I can pinpoint them. I like, your parents listened to good music, didn't they? And I'm like, how did you know? You know what I mean? It's so obvious. Like, cause I hear that Randy Newman chord change. You know what I mean? It's like, I hear that melody. I hear what you're doing. You don't even know you're doing it. That's the thing. They don't know. They're not ripping it off.
Right.
But some of them come fully formed, and I'm like, I've never had one that didn't have like a uncle or a brother, sister, you know what I mean? Somebody in that house who was playing that music. It's so interesting.
What I tell the kids, I say, this is why I like to do these shows, not just for me, or to preach to you. I feel that if you're going to train up the next generation of potential writers, that they need to have good premium gas in their tank when it comes time for them to make their thing and to push the human race forward. They better have some good background of something that has soul and melody to it. Otherwise, and you can see what happens when we don't. Yeah, it just gets more and more lame every year.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting how it works, and how it's also interesting that once you introduce someone to cool shit, they hear it. They don't reject it. At least mine don't. They don't reject it.
No,
they absolutely go, oh, okay, here it is. You know, it's like we used to do these DJ clashes. You know, we used to do DJ clashes where I would pick a topic, and we all pick a topic, right? Everybody in class picks a topic, and then you got to come back next week with a song about that topic, you know, and then we're going to have what we call a DJ clash, you know, and we're going to see, you know, whose songs, you know, and this is really fucked up, but it was the best thing ever. I was like, okay, we're going to do about not race. What was it? It was race. It was something, I don't know what it was. It was something having to do with race, white and black relations. I can't remember exactly, or maybe it was media. But they brought all of their socially conscious stuff, you know, all their contemporary socially conscious stuff. And I played them Dylan's Pawn in Their Game, where he's singing to the white people of the early 60s, like, you're only a pawn in their game. Like, you know, they're playing you against black people, but actually we're all getting screwed. So I play them the Dylan song. They play all this heavy contemporary socially conscious stuff. And the thing is, I was like, so did Dylan did he make the cut? And they're like, yeah, that motherfucker was badass. That was some badass shit, right? You got to write a lyric that's going to land. I always tell them, don't write a song that says racism is bad. You know why? Because I already know that. Write me a song about how it feels. Don't tell me something's bad that I already know. Don't tell me, you know, don't tell me sexism is bad. Tell me about the experience of sexism so I can learn from it and feel something about it, you know?
Yeah, because those of us not affected by it need to feel it. If you want it to stop, that's the only way.
Need to feel it, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But a good lyric is the only thing that's going to do that. Telling somebody, you know, I used to have all these people like with these Trump sucks songs. I'm like, we know that. A Trump sucks song does nothing. It does nothing. It's not protest. It's not protest. That's just you having a feeling.
Except for the one that you wrote, right?
Oh, God. The torture from that. Jesus. I didn't want to write that fucking song. Dude, Spike literally was stalk texting me to write that song. I said, dude, I can't write a song about that guy because I just don't want to be, for all the reasons why I'm saying, I don't want to be tainted, you know, I don't even want his thing in my thing. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't want his vibe in my vibe. And Spike kept texting me, clown with the nuclear code, clown. He would just text me those words.
Oh my gosh.
Because he had the phrase.
I had no idea.
Yeah. So he had the phrase. So he would just text me. I'm like, dude, I really don't want to do it. You can find a writer to do it. I really didn't want to do it. Finally, he just broke me down. So I basically just vowed, I just said, you can't mention the guy's name, right? So that was the best I could do. I mean, he wanted the tune, and, you know, obviously, he wanted the tune, you know, and I didn't want to write the tune, but it was helpful. That story helps me with my students again, because if you have to write about something you don't want to write about, find a way, you know, find a way, you know. It was hard. I hated every fucking minute of it.
Wow.
Really did. But I'm glad it's there. I don't play the song, you know. But yeah, it was what do you call it? Under duress. It was written and recorded under duress.
Well, wow, that's crazy.
But it's a nice problem to have, of course, to have Spike Lee hounding you to write a song. I'm not complaining about that. I'm just as the sensitive songwriter guy, I did not want to write a song about Donald Trump. You can understand that.
Yeah, I never did. I don't think. Did I? I kind of did. No, it was more a response to my dad. Not specifically, but just the Christian community and kind of the hypocrisy of
right.
those early days.
Right. Family. Whoa.
Being okay with the stuff that was going on and looking the other way.
Right. Oh God, yes. Still, I'm always in that debate with some friend or another.
And I got to play that song at a little club in Manhattan when I was there. I think that's the only time I played it. So there you go. The New York crowd just loved it.
Right. We like aggression and anger and contrariness.
There you go. Well, dude, this was amazing. Thank you so much for agreeing to come on here. And
I just wish I had a prompter, so like probing. So I
are you
remember
kidding me?
some fucking gigs that we did and connect the years. I can't connect the years. It's just all like very.
It's okay.
I can only do it by. I know when the albums came out, so that helps. But
I think we talked about pretty much most of our connections to it anyway, as best we could.
Cool. This has been a pleasure. Such a pleasure sitting down with you guys.
Right on. And then anytime you want to hang out we're all in Long Beach now. So.
Oh, you're in Long Beach.
Yeah, we're not in Orange County at all.
Okay.
They've been up here for a while, but we're here at my house now. They live about 5 minutes north of here.
Okay.
And we're just barely in LA County, but yeah.
Okay. Oh, Long Beach. Yeah. I know Long Beach a little bit, but so you guys got food out there, right?
We know where all the good restaurants are, and we're pretty good cooks too.
Yeah. Okay. Well then, yes. Yeah. If you can handle my 13-year-old, who is the most calm 13-year-old, he's giving me like I think he's like, I'm about to get crazy. Because right now he's just like, I'm just letting you, just kind of ramping into this right now because he's 13 and he's the most chill.
Dude, the kids are chill. The kids are chill right now. They're
pretty chill. But I feel like he's got something for me later on because he saw a picture of the specials.
Okay.
And he was like, yeah, I like these guys. They look tough. They look cool. I'm like, you want to be in that band, don't you? Right? He's like, yeah. It's like he thought they were. He saw the title "Gangster" because they have one song called "Gangsters," and he was like, "Yeah, I want to be in this band." And then he hears the music, and of course, it's beautiful. Yeah, man, let's try to meet up. That would be lovely.
Beautiful.
Good problem to have.
Yes,
we made it through. We made it through that 4-year potential civil war. I was like, I kind of want to be on the other side of the border if shit gets bad. So.
I'm telling you, man.
I don't want to be apart from the fam, so now we're all here, and it's great.
Awesome, that's great. That's fantastic.
It's a great neighborhood. Very every shade of person is down here.
Cool. No, I dug Long Beach the times that we used to hang out there. We played down there a bit too.
Still happening. Cool. It's starting to happen more, I think.
Is it?
There's some local clubs happening, and yeah, we feel good. Shit's gonna start changing, I think.
I certainly hope so.
And everyone we've talked to today is into it and kind of deciding to kick things back on. So
good.
Yep.
Switched on.
Well, good luck to you, man. Awesome.
Same to you guys. I hope to see you sometime in July or August.
All right. We'll be here.
All right. Be good. Take care. Thank you for having me.
All right. Here's Fuzzy Green Hat, the song that Stu and I never wrote together.
One by myself. There's another muse to mango. Or should I leave it up on the shelf? I was needing inspiration in an awkward situation, but he spoke to me in my dream. You said it's time to write a song, and I will help it come along. The fuzzy hat you